everyone, I'm back with another edition of Books and Cooks. And today I've chosen a story, another one by Eric Carle, called Pancakes. And in this story, it serves up another fun recipe for us because it's about a boy named Jack who wakes up hungry for pancakes for breakfast. Now, when I wake up hungry for pancakes for breakfast, I really take the easy way out and I go into my pantry and I choose this. It's a complete pancake mix and all you have to do is add water and that's it because everything else is already mixed into the mix. That is a really easy way to make pancakes for breakfast. But in this story, Jack and his mom do not have a pancake mix, so they have to gather all the ingredients. It's a little bit like that Thunder Cake story. Are you ready? Pancakes by Eric Carle. Kikeriki, crowed the rooster. Jack woke up, looked out the window, and thought, ooh, I'd like to have a big pancake for breakfast. Jack's mother was already up and busy. Mother, said Jack, I'd like to have a big pancake for breakfast. Oh, I'm busy right now, so you'll have to help me, she said. How can I help you, asked Jack. Well, you're going to need to gather some ingredients. First, we need the flour. Now, I know if I needed flour, I would just go right into my pantry. Jack had to take a sickle and cut as much of the wheat as the donkey could carry and then took it to the mill where the miller would grind it into flour. When Jack had cut enough wheat, he put it on the donkey's back and took it to the miller. So he has to actually make the flour. Can you grind this wheat for me, he asked, because I need to make a big pancake. First, we must separate the grain from the chaff, said the miller. He gave Jack a flail, it's like a tool that cuts, and spread the wheat onto the ground, and the miller took another flail and then began to beat the wheat with it, and so they could separate the grain from the chaff. And soon there was a big pile of straw and chaff and a pile of grain. They only want the grain. The rest they could feed to the animals. The miller poured the grain onto a large flat stone, and on top of it was a round millstone connected to a water wheel on the outside. The water wheel turned round and round, turning the millstone round and round too, to grind the grain into flour. And at last, Jack finally had a bag of flour. Wow, that was a lot of work to get flour. Here's the flour, shouted Jack to his mom. Now let's make the pancake. And his mom said, no, not yet. Now we need an egg. I'd go right to my refrigerator to get an egg, but not Jack. He had to go to his black hen, and then he fed her some of the grain that had fallen into his pocket. And while he had been threshing that wheat, cluck, cluck, said the little black hen, and went inside her hen house. Then she said, cluck, cluck, and laid an egg. Here's an egg, shouted Jack. Are we ready to make a pancake? But his mother said, not yet. Now we need some milk. And Jack went to the spotted cow and he began to milk her. Moo, moo, said the spotted cow as the milk squirted into the pail. Here's the milk, shouted Jack. Now are we ready to make a pancake? But his mother said, sorry, we need some butter. And Jack had to get out a butter churn, and he had to hold it between his knees. And his mother scooped the cream off of the top of the milk. She put it into the butter churn, and then Jack had to pull the handle up and down, up and down, up and down, and he finally turned the cream into butter. Here's the butter, shouted Jack. Let's make a pancake. But his mother said, oh, we need to build a fire. Wow, she doesn't even have a stove that just turns on like mine. So Jack went to the woodshed and got some firewood. This is a lot of work to make a pancake. Here's the firewood, shouted Jack. Now are we ready to make a pancake? But his mother said, well, wouldn't you like to have something sweet to put on your pancake? So Jack went down to his cool cellar and pulled a jar of strawberry jam from one of the shelves. Okay, I think we have it all. So Jack said to his mom, here's the strawberry jam. Now let's make a pancake. And in the kitchen, Jack's mother had filled the table with the flour, the egg, the milk, which I just spilled, the butter, there was a mixing bowl, and there was a spoon, let's say right here, and a ladle. This is a great tool in the kitchen. It's used for soups and pouring. And a frying pan, which I have over on my stove. And a plate right here to put the pancakes on. And a knife, and a fork, and a spoon. All of those things that Jack gathered, I also gathered in my kitchen. And his mother said, are you ready? Let's do it. Take a cup full of flour and pour it into the bowl. Now break an egg into the bowl. Now pour a cup full of milk into the bowl. And now stir it so there are no lumps. Well, they had a spoon, so I think Jack actually and his mom used a spoon. You could also use something called a whisk, which I have in my kitchen, and I'll show it to you later when we go over to cook this pancake, because what you want to do is get all the lumps out. So there they are with their flour and their egg and their milk, and look, there it is. Although I quickly got all those things from my pantry, Jack had a lot of work to do. Now Jack's mother said, heat the frying pan, put the butter in the pan, and then put a ladleful, this would be a ladleful, you'll scoop it up, of batter into the pan. And after a minute or two, she looked at the underside of the pancake, and it was golden brown. Now watch, she said. I'm going to turn this pancake over. Are you ready? Ready, shouted Jack. And his mom took the pan and she flipped it. And the pancake flipped over high into the air and landed right onto the other side into the pan. And in another minute or two, that pancake was crisp and cooked on the underside as well. I am not good at flipping pancakes like that. I typically use a spatula. But you could try it if you're good at it. Then she slipped the pancake from the frying pan onto a plate, spread some of her strawberry jam on it, and now, Jack, his mother started to say. And do you know what Jack said? Oh, Mom, you don't have to tell me what to do now. I know what to do. And Jack finally ate it. The pancake with the strawberry jam. The end. Wasn't that awesome? So let's think about that. So Jack had to gather all those ingredients just to make a simple pancake for breakfast. So I have my batter ready, and I think if you meet me over at my stove, let me show you how to make a pancake. And then I'm going to show you a really fun way to eat these pancakes. Okay, we're over at the stove now. So I've got my frying pan like Jack's mom had. I've got my batter. Actually, I have two kinds. I'll talk about that in a minute. I'm gonna turn on my fire. I didn't have to go get the wood and do all that. I actually just have gas, which turns right into fire. All right, the reason why they needed the butter was to put in the pan, all right? You could use spray pan to spray your pan, or you could use the butter. Since Jack and his mom used the butter, I guess I'll use the butter too, okay? All you have to do is put it around the edges and into the middle of the pan just like that, just to keep the pancake from sticking. Okay, so here's the I made this batter ahead of time. There's the one we made out of the flour and the egg and the milk, and this is the one that's actually made out of that complete pancake mix where you just add water. They both come out exactly the same. Now I want to try to make a big pancake kind of like Jack's mother made, all right? So I'm going to actually just pour all my batter into my pan, and to spread it out, I'm just going to kind of shake it. Since that's not enough batter for me, I'm going to even add a little bit more from this one. I'm going to actually mix the two, all right? Now, I started on like medium-high heat, and you just kind of spread it out, and it's okay. See how it's starting to make bubbles? It's okay if the edges are not perfect, because I have cooking shears in my kitchen, and if I wanted it to be like a super round pancake, I could actually trim the edges with either a knife or with my cooking shears, but I'm just gonna let it cook. What you need to know, the way you flip a pancake, is you wait for it to bubble. You've got to get all those little tiny bubbles on the top, and as you make more and more, you have to keep turning your heat down, because it will start to get really dark on the bottom if you keep it up at a high heat. Now, here I could have just a plain pancake, or I could make this like a chocolate chip pancake or a blueberry pancake by just adding either your blueberries in or your chocolate chips in, okay? This one's gonna be tricky to flip because it's super big, but I'm going to give it a try. But I have to really wait till I see all those bubbles, okay? I could do blueberries and chocolate chips if I wanted, or I could keep it plain. It really doesn't matter, all right? So as it's cooking, I tend to go around with my spatula. I start lifting the edges. See what I'm doing? Because I want it to not stick too much, but I really need it to be really cooked. You want to form these bubbles like this. See how the middle is still kind of raw? That's okay, because as soon as I flip it, that part will cook. But if it's too runny when I go to flip it over, it's gonna run. Okay, are you ready? I'm just gonna try to do one big major flip. Ready? 1, 2, 3, flip! Look at that, a delicious pancake. Look at, I made a giant pancake just like Jack's mom. Delicious, right? And all you do is you can feel that it's cooked already. I can feel that with my hand. So then I could shut my heat down, and I could take my pancake and put it here, and then I could top it with the strawberry jam, just like Jack did, or syrup, or both, if that's what you like. Are you ready? It's done, and out it comes, all right? And I have my huge pancake. Let's see how Jack's mom said that. He did not have syrup on his pancake. He had strawberry jam. So you could have that too. I don't know if you've ever had strawberry jam on your pancake or even fresh strawberries, but it is delicious. And you could put as little or as much as you want. And there would be a delicious breakfast pancake with strawberry jam and a little bit of chocolate chips. Let's see. Oh, look at the chocolate chips are starting to melt right in the middle. I can see them. There's a little chocolate chip right there. Let me see how it tastes. Ready? It's delicious. It's super good. A little bit of chocolate, a little bit of sweet jam, and a delicious pancake. All right, that's one way to make pancakes for breakfast. But you know me, I need to challenge you to be creative. You could also make pancake animals. Let me show you a way to make a pancake into an animal. Let's try to make it into a dog. All right, look what I have on this plate. Pieces of pancake that I had made before. Now, I told you I have cooking shears. These are for my kitchen. So I want to try to make a dog. So I'm going to take this pancake that I had cut, and I want to make it like into an ear. Whatever shape I want, okay? And to me, that looks like a good ear shape. What do you think? Does that look like a, there's the head, there's the ear shape. So let me try to make this one. Now, just like I do in art, I could just kind of measure it, right? If I only had a knife, I could do it with a plastic knife even. All right, there you go. I have 2 dog ears. They're not perfectly the same, but they're pretty good, right? Then I could take this part, and it could be like the dog cheeks, all right? Then I have all these toppings to choose from. And I could, maybe for eyes, I could use those white chocolate wafers, or if I wanted to, I could use bananas. Like, I don't have to use chocolate. I could use banana. All right? So here we go. Let's use banana. Say we want this to be a super, super healthy one. Then maybe I could take a blueberry nose. Let's use a nice sized blueberry for his nose, and I'll put it right there. Okay? Then maybe take a raspberry for like his tongue. Look at that. Ooh, starting to look like a dog to me. Maybe a couple chocolate chips or blueberries for his eyes. I could put it like that. Look how cute. And now I have a dog bone to go with my pancake dog. Isn't that adorable? So you could take your syrup and you could pour it over, or you could take the strawberry jam. Let me get my strawberry jam. I could make his ears be like strawberries. Remember, wash your hands before you play with your food. I was always told when I was a little girl, don't play with your food. But now I've come up with a way to play with my food. It's called Books and Cooks. And I give you permission to play with your food too. Look at that. I have a little more on this side so I could move it over. What do you think? Does that look cute? I think it looks cute and it looks delicious. You could still put syrup on that. Can I show you some other ones I made quickly? So I went online and I said, I just Googled pancake animals. Look what I found. What does that look like? Kind of like a lion. It's got the strawberries around it. Okay, that's one idea. This one's almost a complete breakfast with 2 pieces of bacon. This is like a reindeer. I've got a raspberry nose, bananas, little pancakes for his ears. So like you make your pancakes any size you want, and then you can cut them either with a plastic knife or with kitchen cooking shears. Look at this one for the very hungry caterpillar. Look at that. And you know, those are bananas on top of the pancakes. And you know what else I did? All the scraps that I cut off when I was shaping my pancakes, I used them for like grass. And look, there are those gummy worms. Shout out to Francesca and Giovanna, Mrs. Donardi's granddaughters, because they love cooking with me. And I just saw that they made some of those dirt cups. And they also tried the pineapple butterflies, the fruit butterflies. The stuff that Giovanna and Francesca make, it's even better than mine because their grandma shares the pictures with me. So I challenge you, Giovanna and Francesca, make yourself some animal pancakes. Let me show you another one. This one, I didn't even know what I was making. I just had scraps, and I just made like a Martian. And I cut some strawberries, and I made little fingers. I was just being creative. I had no picture to go with on that one. And then in this one, I just had a few pancakes left over, so I said, looks like a monkey. And I could always take my syrup and say, ooh, I'm gonna eat you, monkey, and I'm gonna sprinkle some delicious syrup on you. So those are just some of the animal pancakes that I made. They don't have to be animals. I challenge you to read Pancakes, make your pancakes, fine if you just wanna use the pancake mix where you add water, and make a pancake creature, let's call it. Animal, person, anything. Make something out of your pancakes. This is where you have permission to play with your food and then enjoy a wonderful breakfast. So until next time, happy reading and happy cooking.